Welcome to Disrupt and Discuss with your hosts, E and KayCee. A Beshea Ventures production brought to you by It's Just ETV and MyHerba by TheFitnessCollectif. Now, without any further ado, disrupt and discuss.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to Disrupt and Discuss, the podcast where we break down modern challenges and explore actionable solutions. Well, I am E.
And I am KayCee.
Love that. And we are coming to you guys with another one. Coming to you guys with another podcast, another episode. Hope you're going to enjoy this one. This one we have entitled Beyond Comfort, Exploring Misogi and Transformative Goal Setting Methods. And so this one I'm pretty excited about because my girl KayCee approached me. She's always coming. She's the innovator. To me.
Yeah, okay.
She tries innovative things and different things. And so she opens her mind up, which allows me to open my mind. So I'm definitely excited for today's conversation. But we're going to discuss Misogi. And she's going to talk a little bit about it and how Misogi, exploring it and how it can help you push you beyond your limits, because we want to talk about goals and setting goals. And everybody always talks about, well, you get your calendar, you put
Right.
your daily, your weekly goals, you talk about your financial goals or your fitness goals or your money goals. There's all types of podcasts, all types of videos, all types of articles about how to do that, how to color coordinate it, da 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 da. We're coming, as we usually do, to disrupt and
And
discuss, right? And so we're coming with a different format here. We're coming with a different way. And so this one, like I said, is Misogi, and we're going to let KayCee talk to it because it's going to stretch you beyond what you think you're capable of. And it's another form of goal setting, and it's very powerful. And the methods line with the same principles like stretch goals and BHAG, which we're also going to get into as well. But I really want her to speak to this because, like I said, she brought this to me and I was like, I like that. Mine was blown per usual,
okay, right.
And yeah, we're going to let you, KayCee, tell us about Misogi.
Well, first off and foremost, I want to say this a little bit off topic as always. Happy anniversary to E.
Thank you. And you too.
Yes. And one of the other things we have in
In
common,
common.
we both got married on New Year's Eve. So
Yes.
with that being said,
Yes.
another year around the world with with your honey,
Yes.
you
And
know.
you too.
Likewise. Oh, he ain't got a choice.
Right? They locked in. They
Oh
locked
yeah,
in.
we got the tracker, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So, but as far as goals and everything, one of the things that really resonated with me even more so this past year, and I know it sounds cliche when you see it on a business card or a t-shirt, be the change that you want to see in the world. And what does that have to do with goals? But I really took that to heart this time because I was on IG and I had already done some of the stuff that I didn't even realize that I had already done. So with Misogi, it's a Japanese ritual is what it is. But for the purposes of IG and how the guy broke it down to me was one of the things that you do, what is that one big defining moment that you're going to do for the year? We're not talking anything, oh, I'm going to do A, B, C, D through Z. No, what is that one big defining moment that you're going to do for the year? And for me, and I didn't even realize they had already done that, but one of them was powerlifting competition. that was very defining for me, because you can always practice, you can say what you're going to do, but until you actually do it, you can put that goal under your belt. And in doing this whole project, I have a year calendar. I just got it, so I didn't do it in 2024, but it's a whole year calendar that you can see just from the glance across the room. And one of the things, like I said, is doing that one big thing. You don't have to limit it to that, but it might be doing a 5K. You might want to quit smoking. So something that is really going to be pivotal in your life. And then on top of that, you have that. And then this is on top of that defining moment, is doing 6 mini adventures. And that's something that could be every other month. So you got 12 months in a year. So you just do every other month. You're just doing 6 mini adventures. One of the things we started doing, my husband and I, we get caught up in daily life and we don't do that date night. A lot of people do it, and we don't make time to do that. We did for the first time when we got together with E, and we went, was it axe and ales? So we actually went out on a date and we're throwing axes. And it could have been a checker game out in public or something, but these 6 little mini adventures that we do, it could be walking the lake, but something every other month. So you figure if you're doing it, say for example 40 years you're doing it, if you're age 40 and you're doing these 6 mini little adventures for 40 years, and then you're 80 years old, you've done 240 things, and it's very minimal.
That's
We
crazy. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, when you're looking at the macro versus micro, yeah, it is a big thing. So on this calendar, I've got my big defining moment. And then on top of that, I'm going to have my 6 mini adventures, whatever those might be. And then the final piece to the puzzle is every quarter, which is why I have that huge year calendar. Every quarter, what is your winning habit for the quarter? It might be, okay, I went and I practiced meditation, and I've gotten to the point where I can do that.
Right.
So now I've got all these mini goals along with this big goal. And at the end of the year, you're looking at, okay, I've got one major event, 6 mini adventures, and 4 new habits. I mean, shit, you've already won. So when you step
Right.
back and you look at, okay, what did I do for 2024, 2025, and beyond, you can look and you can see what you've done. And then you get to that point where you open your mind and you get used to doing things outside of the norm. And what is that? What do I mean by norm? That could be what is your normal. I'm not saying you do something like bungee jumping or something outrageous, but what would be normal to you, and just step a little outside of that. And you're improving yourself. You might read that book that you never thought that you would get to, or anything.
Right.
So I really like that philosophy of doing things like that, because you don't feel as though, oh God, it's the new year, I have to do this. You're taking baby steps. And what is that old saying? The journey of 1,000 miles begin with the first step.
Right.
And you actually start that. And again, back to be the change that you want to see. One of the things that I have had to work on is there are people in our lives, and we all have them, who are very negative. And it's easy to say, I'm going to just stay away from negative people. It doesn't always work that way. Life doesn't happen like that.
Right.
There's some people that I have to keep in contact with that just have a shitty disposition in life. So my thing is, okay, how do I combat that to preserve my well-being? How do I handle that? So again, how would I like to see that person act? No, how would you like to act when you see that person doing that? How does that protect yourself so I can
Right.
continue with my goals? Because you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. Some people, the more you want to, oh, hey, you could do this, you could do that, they dig their heels in
Oh,
deeper, and now you're all fucked up. You've
right.
got
Trying to
that.
motivate they butt.
Yeah. And then now it's like, I need a goddamn cheerleader because I'm pissed. So, and you start off trying to be nice, and it's accept people for where they are, it's like, you know what? I got to deal with you, but I don't have to live with you in that sense. And
Absolutely.
you just keep moving on. And so that is why I came up and saw this, and I wanted to share it with E because it's a totally different outlook that I wasn't even aware of. And even what was surprisingly, that I was actually doing some of it and didn't even realize it. And it's actually a thing. So
Right.
I'm very looking forward to what's going on in 2025. And actually, my stuff is started even before then. So, yeah, so I'm really happy with that. It's a lot of different things that you can do to make it your own, but it's a very easy step to do. And again, I have my big calendar. I can see it as I'm walking by. So either I'm on target, or if I'm not on target, I'm aware of that as well. So I highly approve.
Recommend.
Yes,
I
approve, recommend. Yes,
I love this. Let's just touch back on it. Just to summarize, you said it's Misagi is, in a nutshell, it's one major event, six mini adventures, and within that, you're creating four new habits, right?
correct, correct. And I'm not sure if it all of that fits under the heading of Misogi, but definitely the year, that one big defining moment. That is for sure with that. But I'm just putting it all under that same heading because it's all transformative. It's all transformative, and it's for the better, for sure.
Absolutely. I like the fact that when you were breaking down those six mini adventures every year for 40 years. So if you started with six mini adventures every year for 40 years, when you hit from 40 to 80, that's 240 things that you've done. I mean, that's talking about memories.
Yes,
You're
yes.
creating like very pivotal memories just in that alone. So that's what I really liked about what you were discussing. And I've been looking at it and trying to focus on the one big major event that I would have in the six mini adventures. I have an idea of how I
Hmm.
want to do it, but for sure, I like this approach for sure. It's
It, it's
different.
it's it's
Yeah,
e-
it makes it more attainable.
yes,
You know what
yes.
I'm
That's the
saying?
word.
Yeah. But I did have a question for you. So what if a person how would this person or how would someone stay motivated to push through when a challenge like this becomes overwhelming, even though we're saying it's easy and attainable, but for we're also people who we've had goals and made goals years prior. So making goals for ourselves is not anything new. But if a person is approaching this from never having made goals ever in life and they may want to try this, what would you say to a person that if they feel overwhelmed, how would they stay motivated to push through something like this that's actually a lot more attainable than the way we did it prior to this?
Tiki Barber here. I remember those grueling practices, pushing through fatigue and striving for greatness. Well, that's the same dedication MyHerba puts into their supplements. They understand the body's needs. MyHerba takes a holistic approach to wellness. Whether it's their sea moss, immune defense, or even sleepy time, they have an option for you. Let MyHerba make the best you with code BARBER10 for 10% off at TheFitnessCollectif.com.
Well, again, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Just do one of the three. You don't have to do it all. What is one of the major, big defining moments? Again, it could be, again, like I said, something, it's not, I'm not saying something that's small, but somebody's trying to quit smoking. That might take you a whole year to do.
Right. Right.
If you're focusing on that, you get that, then you can go from there. And if you're in it, for some people, it's still going to be the weight loss goal. So the big defining moment, okay, I want to lose X amount of pounds. But if you want to break down the mini adventures part of it, I might want to pick up walking.
Right.
So I can do every other month, I can walk the lake. In the meantime, I can maybe take one item out of what I eat. And
Right.
so, or I can drink more water. It's something like that. So
Yep.
again, and if that's all you can do right now to focus, then that's all you do, because it's still something that you have done for that year or for that quarter. You are still working towards a goal. None of this is going to happen overnight. If it did, then this show wouldn't even be that long.
Right.
I've got big goals. I've got travel goals. That's not going to happen today.
Right.
I've got those. And again, I plan on doing another powerlifting competition down the road. So it's going to fit in there at some point. And as far as my winning habits for the quarter, I have no clue what that is going to be. So I would sit here and I'd be lying.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to do it. No, I have no idea. I might not even fill that out. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. You might not even get to that point. Let's start with something simple. If it's just one major thing, do it. That's what I'm taking from this. And also I'm looking at it this way, just like KayCee shared this with me, share this with someone else you may know. And then maybe you guys can do it together. Maybe you can come up with something that you can do together. Misogi. Am I saying it correctly?
That's how I say it. That's how I say it.
That's what we rolling with.
Yeah.
Our 1% of Japan that listens to us, correct us if we are saying it wrong.
Yes.
Please. But yes, if you want to add someone else into it, say for instance, some people can't do things by themselves. Sometimes people struggle to do things by themselves. I'm not one of those people, but some people are. So if you're one of those people, what do you think? Add someone to it. You guys do it together and see if you can accomplish one major goal together. If that would help you to come out of your shell or take that one step to those 1,000 steps.
I'm thinking off the top of my head, and you made a comment, and I'm like, I personally don't go and eat by myself.
Okay.
Not that it's a big deal one way or the other. I just never have. And I know people that they'll take a book with them. They'll bring their phone. Well, we all have our phones, and they'll go to a restaurant. They'll have their phone. They'll order their food, and it's not a big deal. And I'm just thinking that might be something that I'll even try doing by myself.
Absolutely. And I'm one of those people, I can bring my laptop or a book and sit in there, order my food and eat. So absolutely. And that's a step.
Yeah.
We gave you another step, you guys. Simple, easy things. No need to overthink it. No need to think that, oh, I need to take a trip to Thailand or Fuji or just these steps. That one major thing can be whatever. Like she said, doing a 5K. If you've only walked around your neighborhood and you say that your major goal is that you want to do a 5K, that's a big step for you if you're only walking your neighborhood. So you have to think of it as what is a great accomplishment for you in your life and not what everybody else or what you think may sound exciting to others. You're doing this for you. It's for you, for your betterment, your advancement, your well-being and your memories.
Oh yeah. And you'll be surprised when you think and you sit back and you go, damn, I did that shit.
Exactly.
I mean, really.
We did that together.
Yeah, we did.
We did the turkey trot. We've had a lot of firsts. We had a lot of firsts. She told me about a turkey trot on our hikes. Yeah. I had never done a 5K. She had never done a 5K. Never. And she was like, I'm going to do this turkey trot and it's going to be on Thanksgiving. And I was like, give me. And I could. So I was like, okay. But I was like, I've never done a 5K. So we started training for it. We started walking the
reservoir.
Thank you. The reservoir in our neighborhood. And we were prepping, running and stuff. And we actually did it. We did the turkey trot on Thanksgiving Day. What did we get there? About 6 a.m, 5?
Yeah, it was early. It was early and it was
cold.
Dark
30 and cold as hell. Right.
Yep.
And we completed our first 5K. And KayCee was like, because again, she'll tell you, I'm 7 foot and she's 4 foot.
Not.
So, our strides are different. And she was like, just go. Just don't worry about me. I'm going to finish. And she did. I finished before her, but she got there. She got there and I was waiting for her at the finish line. And our hubbies were there, wrapped up, cold, waiting for us at the finish line. So it was an accomplishment. I can mark it off. That's something that I've done.
Yep.
Sure
did.
Absolutely. You
Didn't do
forgot
it
that, didn't
again.
you? We didn't do it again. No. 'Cause I was like, that was, God dang it.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it
good.
but it was a bucket list thing. Absolutely. I love it. So yes, we recommend looking into this, looking into Misogi, and it's spelled, what is it? Misogi, that
Correct.
methodology, and see if it's something that you want to approach or not for the new year. Like, we're trying to bring you guys different types of goal setting ideas. And so we're going to bring up some other methods that are out there that are similar, but not necessarily, but it's also a different approach.
Correct.
So there's some other methods. That one of the methods out there is called stretch goals. And stretch goals, they're about like reaching slightly beyond your current capabilities, just enough to force you to grow without feeling completely out of reach. So, say for instance, people who are professionals. So, if you're a salesperson, like an account exec or a pre sales person, anybody who deals in commissions, this is just an example. You have a 20% goal, your annual sales 10%. So you stretch yourself to encourage yourself to get more, to push to get a new percentage of your commission. So it's important to incrementally set yourself up. So if you were at 10%, you say, okay, I want to stretch myself a little bit. I'm looking for 20%. So my goal is going to be 20%. So that's like a stretch goal, an example of a stretch goal. And I think that's attainable, especially if you're talking about numbers. Say, for instance, you want to save money. You are used to saving $1,000. Your next goal is, I want to save $2,000 and I want to do it in this amount of time. Well, that's a stretch goal. You're stretching yourself. I have 1,000. I've done that. I've completed that. And my next goal is, I want to save 2,000 or 3,000. I think I can do that. So that's a stretch goal. You're stretching yourself incrementally. So that's an example of a goal that way. And then they have it's called the BHAG. And this one was weird. Big,
Oh, you never heard that?
hairy. No,
Oh, you never heard of BHAGs?
no.
Oh, okay.
BHAG. Thank you. Okay, she
Yeah.
said it. BHAGs. Big, hairy, audacious goals.
Goals.
BHAGs. I was like, what the hell is
Oh man.
BHAGs?
Yeah.
Y'all let us know. Have you heard of BHAGs? Have you done a BHAG? Because I've never done a BHAG.
Look here,
Okay.
BHAG. No.
Okay. Like, what's this BHAG? Look here, BHAG.
Yeah.
Big, hairy.
Yes.
Where did hairy come in all this?
You know what? Don't know.
Big, hairy, audacious goals. Why it got to be hairy? Can it be hairless? I don't know. But BHAGs, these are massive, obviously. It's an intimidating goal that inspires you to take bold actions, like thinking long-term visionary goals. An example of one would be, they gave like Elon Musk and his vision to colonize Mars. Now that's big
Wow.
and hairy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's out there. That's very long. That's very visionary. But Elon Musk is a visionary type of guy. I can't even think beyond that, trying to colonize Mars. I don't know what would be a visionary goal for me. Maybe owning my own production company.
There you go.
Yeah, owning my own production company. So, what would it take to get there, to that point? So, on a personal level, something like starting your own business, running that ultra marathon, not a 5K. We're talking about, what is it? A full one.
Well, the actual marathon isn't that 25 point something miles?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Right. So ultra marathon or Iron Man, those are like audacious, hairy, because the physical fitness, the training, the mental fortitude that it takes to do something.
Oh my
like
God.
that.
Yeah. No, I did one of those before. No, not Iron Man.
Like an ultra marathon, like running an ultra marathon.
Yeah. And the thing is, I didn't do a marathon. I'm not a runner, but I did do the mud run years ago. It was called back then Survivor Mud Run.
So
and I am the guy that still watches Survivor. So I'm just putting that out there. Yes, I still do.
You still watch Survivor?
Yeah,
Oh
but
my
here's
God.
here's the odd thing about it. When it gets down to the last 3 or 4 people,
Right.
I pretty much have already had that relationship. I'm done.
Right.
So I just go to the Googles and I find out who actually won and then I move on. But everything leading up to that, I still watch
You're
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Survivor Mud Run. And
Okay.
it was all the obstacle courses. And when you're not when you're not even 5 feet, I'm not saying that you can't do it, but one
It's
of
a
the
little bit more
most,
challenging.
oh my gosh. And one of the things that really, and I didn't realize it until we were all standing up in a huddle and they're doing the countdown.
Right.
Everybody's, yeah, let's do it. I'm thinking, what the fuck did I get myself into?
Right.
And we all went in uniform, meaning we all did military fatigues. And
Okay.
so we're doing this. And I'm sitting here, some people had on jogging shorts and everything. And I'm thinking, I maybe should have done it like that. I really should have. But it was fun. But when I practice at my pace or the people that I was with, and all of a sudden they're gone. I don't know
Right.
where the fuck they went. They left me. And I'm running uphill and I'm already tired because I'm no longer at my pace. I just want to
Right.
finish.
Right.
And you're jumping into water, you're going down, you're in mud. It was just, and I've got locks, and I'm like, maybe I really
You
didn't
didn't
think
think
about.
this through.
I had it was covered, but it wasn't covered.
Right.
But again, big was a BHAG. It's an audacious goal.
That is an audacious goal. They have it now. It's called Spartan because I wanted to do the Spartan.
Okay.
And they have it in San Francisco, which is similar to what KayCee is saying. It's you're going through the mud. There's all these different types of obstacle courses, but it's at the where the San Francisco Giants play. That
Oh,
the field.
yeah, over there.
Yeah, in San Francisco. And so I just looked it up. The next one is in April but it's in San Jose. But yeah, I did not know you did that. That's something that I wanted to do.
Yes, I'm not doing that with you. I'm just going to let you know right now. I am not doing that again.
You sound like my husband. I told him, I was like, I want to do that. And I said, would you do it with me? He's like, but I'll be at the finish line waiting for you. he did. Heavy is always at the finish line for my crazy stuff. I actually did the Beta Breakers. I did the Beta Breakers run in San Francisco.
Damn.
Yes. And that was, good Lord. That's when I learned, before we did the turkey trot, that's when I knew I had to really get out there and run because I tried training for the Beta Breakers on the treadmill predominantly.
Girl, really? No.
And when you get on real pavement and you have to use your own momentum, you found out real quick that you fucked up.
Yeah.
you messed up.
Yeah.
And I was on that treadmill. Yes, I can do this. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You were beating
ready.
everybody, weren't you?
Right.
I bet you were.
And I got on some pavement. I was like, this don't transfer.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with San Francisco, there's that mega hill. Hayes Street Hill. Yes. I'm like, I don't even like being in a car. When you're seeing a hill that's got stairs because it's too steep, that's a problem.
Yes. We said all this to say, this is a goal for you. If you want it, that's a goal. These mud runs, these marathons, Spartan run, these are all big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yes.
BHAGs.
Yep.
This is a BHAG for your ass.
You be a fool doing all that, but that's okay. BHAG my ass, okay?
But we did it, it's fun.
I know. I ain't doing it again.
Right.
No.
But that's another method. So we have another method. It's called anti-goals. I like this one, anti-goals. So anti-goals focuses on what you don't want to happen, creating boundaries and priorities. Instead of saying, I want to work 60 hours a week to earn a promotion, an anti-goal would be, I will never sacrifice my weekends to work. So I'm not working the weekends. I will work during the week. You got me 5 days a week, but the weekends are mine. So that's an anti goal. So it's like setting those boundaries of what you won't do.
Right.
This method helps you define your non negotiables. And I feel I need something like this in my life right now. I need a couple of anti goals.
Right, but you're an entrepreneur,
I
so
know.
that doesn't that kind of goes out the window. And I'm not saying you still can't no, but not saying you can't still have the goal.
Right.
And there are times when it does bleed into the weekend. But
Yes.
one thing I do make sure I do, I cut it off. If I have to do something on the weekend, then I cut it off because you will get tied up and, oh, I finished this. Well, now I can do this. And next thing you know, the weekend or part of that day is gone.
Absolutely. And you are so correct. When you're an entrepreneur, you can't really, your goal is to create something. And it takes a lot more work. You're not getting paid for it in the
No, you're
intro.
not.
Right. So it really has to be a labor of love, what you're doing. And so sometimes you get lost in the sauce with trying to do everything that you can to make sure that your venture or your passion or whatever it is that you are trying to create gets off the ground. And so you neglect having these boundaries.
Right,
And
right.
when I first came back to content creation, I was experiencing that. I was experiencing that a lot. I think I talked to you about it when I first came back, and then I started doing lives. I was with a group of folks that they were doing lives like all the time, and they wanted you to be a part of the lives all the time. And at first, it was exciting. Then it got to be, okay, I'm neglecting the other part of my life, you know,
Right.
including the hubby. And so that couldn't be. Being up on a live for 8 hours or 10 hours wasn't conducive, right? It was overkill. And so it got to be overkill pretty quickly. And there was a balancing act of, I have a life outside of this. And not only am I working, but I have my personal life. And he didn't sign up for this. I had to make some changes really quickly. But those are some of the things that you learn as you go. That had to be, for me, that was an anti goal. I'm not going to sacrifice my personal time with my husband in order to chase after, it wasn't necessarily a dream, but actually doing these lives and being a part of this for the long term. And then we ended up creating something different and providing more balance. But those are things that you go through. That's a hiccup and you realize it and you correct.
Correct, right.
So
And I know a lot of people, and again, it's a little bit off the subject a little bit, but even
adjacent,
in subject adjacent, how about
subject
yes, yes.
adjacent.
And doing this type of work, again, being an entrepreneur, I'm constantly thinking if A, then B, if C, then D.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I'm sitting here watching television or something, I'll keep a notepad sometimes because I'll just dwell on it. So I can jot it down and get it out of my head. And then I can go on and give the undivided attention that's needed, whether it be my husband, my grandkids, or
Right.
anything. And then it also lets you rest as well, because then you tend to get burned out.
Yes.
You really do. So having that barrier there and saying, okay, if I have to work on the weekend, I can't go past a certain time,
Correct.
period.
And
And I
stick
could
to
be
it.
doing nothing, but I need to be able to rest my mind.
Absolutely. That is key. Resting, setting those boundaries, and making sure you stick to them. Now, of course, is that perfect? No. Sometimes you may break it, right?
Right.
To have that mental note, that mental stopping point, that boundary set is good because you want to keep it most of the time, with the exception every once in a while. It's not going to be perfect, but at least you are setting those expectations for
Absolutely.
at this point, this is shutdown time unless it's urgent, unless it's something I really need to get done. But for the most part, this is a stopping point for me. So I
Correct.
definitely agree with that. Absolutely. So that was an anti goal, you guys, just an example. Then we have, what's the other one? Growth
Growth
mindset.
mindset goals.
Yeah.
The hell?
I know. This one is aligned with, it said Carol Dweck's. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. My apologies if I'm not. It's a
Uh-huh.
Carol Dweck's research. Growth mindset goals emphasize learning over results. So learning something over results. These goals are about progress and improvement. For example, instead of aiming to become fluent in Spanish in 6 months, growth mindset goal would be I will learn 20 new Spanish words per week and practice speaking daily. So it's based on,
Okay.
right, learning over results. So it's more prevalent to learn the words a week, so many words per week, and then that will develop into the speaking language as opposed to, you know what? I'm going to speak Spanish in 6 months. That's a lofty goal.
If you're not dropping me in the middle,
Mexico,
Mexican, I mean, really?
to engross yourself in the culture.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's a lofty goal. Those apps where
Right,
you
right.
that teach you other languages. If you're not, like KayCee said, if you're not getting dropped off in Spain or Mexico or France, Paris, something like that, if you're learning French, who are you gonna talk to? That's a challenge to learn in 6 months for some people. Now, if you're already a bilingual person, they say it's easier to become trilingual, blah, 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 blah. But if you're learning another language, a second language for the first time, that could be a lofty expectation.
It is for me.
Right.
Translator. Da 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 da. There you go.
Google. Oh, okay.
What this said.
Wait, did you see? Here I go with TikTok.
Okay.
TikTok has these headphones. I don't know if you've seen them TikTok shop that translates.
Yes.
I ordered them, right?
Oh, let me know when they come, because
I'm going straight to the nail shop with them.
see. Yeah.
When I saw that, my husband showed it to me because he comes home and we scroll TikTok. So we'll be scrolling TikTok today. And I saw that he saved it for me and he showed it. I was like, I want that. He said, I knew you would. I said, put that in the shopping cart, right? I want that. And I ordered them. Yes, I did.
Yeah. I would like to know how that really works.
Yeah, if they actually work.
And see, and here's the thing, and again, this is my job to go off topic. When you're talking about nail shops,
Right.
even if they're free, I don't go. I used to, first of all, I don't like sitting, I don't like waiting, and I don't like having all that time spent. So I just don't like that. But
oh my God.
No.
Even to get your feet done?
I mean, maybe to get them done, but I'm so used to doing my own. I've had it done before. I even dragged my husband to go get his feet done because he's on his feet all day. But I am the proponent for months.
Yes. KayCee has also, I don't have them on today, but yes, I'm a press-on girl. Absolutely.
I love them. And I mean, I get the short ones, not the ones that'll give me a fucking hysterectomy when I go to the bathroom.
I get those.
I don't want to go in there with 2 holes and come out with fucking 3. I don't need it. But I love my press-ons because trust me, when I put them on, you cannot tell that they're press-ons at all. And they last about the same amount of time that they would if I went and got them done somewhere else, the whole 2-3 weeks or whatever. And I love it. Once I got it down and I know the ins and outs and I have all the accoutrement to go with it.
Yes.
Now I got to go and pay all that money when I just went to and paid like $10.
Right.
And then I got all this other stuff.
You got everything you want. And I agree with you. We are topic adjacent, but we just gonna get into this real quick. I do that. I did press-ons, absolutely. So they do not get my coin anymore. The nail shop does not get my coin from my hands. Because to be honest, paying all that money, and I'm the person, unlike KayCee, she says she like them short. I like them long.
You like
them gaudy.
You like the stiletto stuff.
I like them gaudy.
No.
Not ultra long. Okay, I'm not Cardi B long or anything like that, or Megan Thee Stallion, but long for me. Theirs are like this.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll get long. The standard long, not ultra long. But I also like my I like them gaudy. So I like different colors, different styles. I like jewelry on mine. I like all this gaudy stuff. But I would show them pictures and they could never get it exactly right. But you expect me to give you this money and tip you.
And a tip. Yeah.
And I wasn't getting exactly what I showed you. When I show you a picture, that's what I want. I want exactly what I showed you. I don't want your rendition of it. And so I found myself paying for your rendition of what I wanted. And so it just got to be a nuisance for me. And so when I discovered the press-ons like KayCee, she was showing me, I was like, let me go out here and find them. Then that's what I do. But I do go to the nail shop to get my pedicures. I ain't doing my feet. I let them still do my feet.
Man.
I'm getting my pedicure. I come with my iPad. I read. I drink me some wine. I turn the vibrator thing on and I'm cool.
Okay, you could have left that part out, but okay.
I am cool. That's a good time for me.
See, but
I'll be
okay.
like this.
Yeah, see, did your eyes roll back like? And see, I even have the press-on toenails.
Oh, I haven't done those yet. I've seen them, but I haven't done them.
And again, because my stuff is short, it works out perfectly. And I only wear them during the summertime. And like I said, when I'm in the shower, I use the pumice stone on my feet every day. And I got tiny feet. So it's not.
She's like, I'm over it.
So that, and again, but I'm older.
Right.
And again, not saying if you're older that you don't want to look nice, because that's definitely not the case. But yeah, I definitely do that. I go and use that, and there we have it. And I get compliments like, "Oh, your feet look so good." Why? Thank you.
Okay. Hey, I've seen them. I just haven't done it yet. I still want to be pampered a little bit, so I'm a little spoiled that way.
I do too. Now, one thing I do, I like my massages.
Yes.
Now that you can't do yourself. I like my massages. And if my top lip ain't cribbing, I don't want it.
I know we got off goals, but we had to get this one out, y'all. Sorry, we apologize.
Yeah, I'm
we
sorry.
Had to get that one
sorry,
out.
got it out.
But mindset goals. We talked about that mindset goal, and we went on to the toes. How did we get there? From the translator. About the translator.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you guys about this translator. Coming soon.
Yes, I want to know. All
right. So with that, this learning the 20 words of Spanish as opposed to trying to learn Spanish in 6 months. That's a growth mindset goal. That's something that you can use. This approach fosters like your resilience, your adaptability. It's perfect for people who fear failure, but love the process of learning. And this is me, because sometimes I have a propensity to, self-sabotage myself, and I self-sabotage myself for fearing not being able to accomplish something. So I will self-sabotage to not even start. And that's only certain things. That's not everything. So for me, that reading this and looking at this, that's a doable thing with regards to if you have that fear of not completing something, but you just love to learn. You want to learn different things. You aspire to learn different things. This is a goal that you can possibly think about. The grow mindset goal. So there you have it. Then we have another one. It's called, I think it's Ikigai.
Okay, that sounds about right. This one I've never heard of. Ever.
Ikigai. So this is another Japanese type of concept. It translates to reason for being. It aligns your passion, skills, and societal needs to create deeply meaningful life goals. Kind of sounds like Misogi.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
It does.
Yeah. So this one may be a little bit in that wheelhouse, very similar to Misogi. So imagine you're passionate about art, skills, graphic design. You want to support environmental causes. Your Ikigai might be starting a sustainable graphic design business. Ikigai isn't about one-time goals. It's about creating a fulfilling life path that integrates your purpose. So I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I like that example too. So if you're a person who you love skilled graphic design, but you want to support the environment. So you come up with something that your Ikigai would be creating a sustainable graphic design business. So incorporating the things that you're passionate about to create your goal.
So
I
that
like
kind
that.
of like saying this is my why.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I like that one. Hmm. I don't know what I can do with it right now, but I like the concept, right? That concept is deep, forging things that you're passionate about in your life and
Right.
creating something around it, an entrepreneurial venture around it. So that's something to think about. Take your passions, take what you really want to do in life and maybe an activist goal or an activist venture and create some type of purpose behind
Makes
it, create
sense.
a business. Yeah. I
I
love
like
that.
that.
Yeah. I'm gonna put that one up somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, but I like that. I
You
like that.
know, it's in my mind. It may come up. So that's an icky guy. That's an icky guy.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, in a sense, I kind of have that with my business because it's dealing with
Correct.
health and wellness supplements. And it started off as, for those of you that know in the beginning, it started off with me actually being unhealthy. And so getting on that health train and finding my why or my ikigai, I guess that is. And
Right.
then it manifested into a supplement business. So yeah,
Absolutely.
okay. All right. I
Yeah.
said I'm not. I'm such a
Right.
liar.
Yeah. Right. You
God, don't
are
listen
living
to
your
me.
icky guy.
Yeah.
And for those of you guys who you spell it Ikigai,
Correct.
Ikigai. I hope I'm pronouncing it again. To our Japanese followers, please correct us if we are pronouncing it wrong. We apologize. But
Yes.
yes, she is living her Ikigai
There you go. See, I'm
currently.
such a liar.
Such a liar. Just a filthy
I'm not
liar.
a liar. Okay. See, what do they say? The first one smelt it, dealt it. I'm
Right.
the first one to go, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you're doing it
You're
now.
doing
Shut
it.
up.
Right.
Yeah.
You did it.
Okay.
I smell
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Here's the last one we have. It's called a decomfort zone challenge. This is another method. So this method directly applies to Misogi, the
Hmm.
Misogi principle, by putting you in uncomfortable situations intentionally.
Oh, shit.
Right? Intentionally putting yourself in an
Mm.
uncomfortable situation.
Okay.
So the discomfort zone challenge might invoke like taking a cold shower every day for 30 days, committing to
Improv. Uh-huh.
improv class when public speaking terrifies you. Okay, committing to an improv class. That ain't happening.
No,
Okay.
I've done that. I've
An,
done that.
an improv?
Yes.
Oh my God. See,
Years
she has
ago.
layers, you guys.
Yeah, I've got a life, a
She,
different life. No, years ago, I took a bunch of acting classes.
oh my God. Okay.
Mhm.
And so you threw yourself in with, you just decided to take it or?
Well, no, it was years and years ago, but we would take a bunch of acting classes.
Okay.
And it wasn't necessarily called improv at the time, but the instructor would say, okay, you're eating a sandwich
Right.
and and I'm painfully shy, painfully shy. And that really helped because one of my in my past life, I used to work at a nutritional bar company
Right.
and I would have to go to trade shows. And that's where improv really I
Shines
would
through.
yes, because you're constantly on blast. You're constantly out there.
Right.
You're speaking, you're talking and you're trying to sound really up and beat and everything
Yep.
about your product. When the trade show was over, I would just collapse in my hotel room because it was so out of character for me
Right.
and being shy. And I just call it now as I'm older, reserved.
Mm-hmm.
But again, improv is one of the best things to do because you are on the fly all the time.
Right.
And even though you have a certain script, unlike improv, but it helps you because you're meeting different people. Hi, how are you? And you got to
Right.
use the smile. And inside, I'm fucking dying inside, but
Right.
you wouldn't know it, right?
Right. No, I did not know that. So how long was the improv class?
It was like maybe like 6 weeks. It was part of an acting class, and it was set up pretty much for those of us that really don't speak a lot.
Mm.
This was, like I said, this was so long ago, but when you mention this, again, I don't realize all the things that I have done in my life to get me
Right.
to this point right now.
It all plays a part, right?
Right, right. Because I mean, if I were to run into you at the grocery store, I I blend in with the onions. I blend in with the rutabagas. I just want to get my shit and go. I am not that person. But once I get to know you, then that's different. Like I said, you and I can have this conversation, but
Right.
before it was, if I don't know you, then I can't talk. Life doesn't happen like that. You have to be able to, when you're at a trade show and you're talking about somebody, about your product, they don't know that they know they don't know you, but they want to know
Right.
what you know. So if you
Exactly.
come off as shy and everything, you've already lost your audience
Absolutely.
right there. So that's where it all comes into play.
No, you are totally right with that, especially with you have to turn on. And that's in HR or recruiting when you go to events, when you're trying, because you're ultimately trying to sell the company, the mission,
Yes,
you
yes,
know, the positions. And so you have to turn on. And that may not necessarily be you. Some folks it is, more power to you. God bless you. But you have to really be, because you are the face of this company. You're the representative at that
right.
point for this company. You are so those key moments, those first few minutes are pivotal because
Yes,
you are trying to attract them, get them to like you, like the company, buy your product, come to your business, work for you, da 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 da.
yes,
So
absolutely.
I definitely think that's a good idea with regards to the improv. And as like she said, improv, that's hard because there was a show. Do you remember that show, the improv
Who's
show with Wayne Brady
oh,
and Drew Carey?
whose line is it anyway?
Yeah. And that's
Yes,
really hard because they have to, on the fly, they'll give you like a subject and you have to
yes.
improv it like on the spot. Do you
You
know
know,
what type of brain cells it takes to like,
oh
off the
God.
head to just
Yeah,
do
'cause
something
it's
like
not
that?
easy.
It's
It's
not
not
easy.
easy.
But it's training a part of your mind, it's training a part of your personality. That's a special type of function in your brain to be able to do something like that. To
Yeah,
to even develop it if you're talented. But to learn it it can speak volumes, just like KayCee was saying, to be able to do that, to turn it on when you need to turn it on and then shut it off.
yep,
Is
yep. You do it
it's
enough, you can. And one last thing that I'll say about it is when you're doing it
mm-hmm.
and you catch yourself, and not in a bad way, you're talking the talk. And I don't know if people can do this, but if you can step outside of yourself as you're doing it, you'll be like, doing this shit.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But really, it's
You
like,
had an
oh my
out of body
God.
experience, like, oh
Yeah,
my God.
I'm doing it.
Right.
Okay. I don't
Right.
know what the hell I just said,
Right.
but it sounded good to me.
Absolutely. That's something good to learn. We're learning as we're going here. The drop was a discomfort zone challenge. That and I didn't know my girl did improv. She got
Yeah.
layers, y'all. She has
Oh God. Trust me,
layers.
it wasn't that it wasn't that deep.
It
We
wasn't
ain't
that
talking
deep.
Wayne Brady style. Eat a sandwich. Okay.
Right. No, but I mean, these challenges are, I think they're good. We're giving you guys different types of challenges for goals. But if you're listening to it, I mean, to me, just listening to us talk about it is giving me so many different ideas of to where I'm going to have to narrow it down because I can't do all of these, right?
Well, one thing you mentioned about goals, and I don't even know if you even remember, you were talking about Toastmasters.
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, if
We
that's
still
what,
got to do that.
if you, like I told you, and I stand by it, if you want to do it, I've never done it there,
Right.
but I'm not
I did
versed.
find a place when we
Oh,
first
goddamn.
discussed it. When we
Shit.
first discussed it, I did find a place, but I have not found the time and schedule to actually put that on my plate to even
Okay.
approach you with it
Oh,
because
geez. Okay.
that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm stretching myself.
Yeah, one of the things I do, and I used to have problems public speaking, and not that
Yes.
I'm very fluent with it at all, but one thing somebody had told me a long time ago, if it's a subject matter that you are comfortable with,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. It's when you're not really comfortable with what you're talking about. And some
Correct.
people will say, bullshit, I still don't like getting up there. But once you really get into it, and sometimes if you're throwing questions out to people and you make them interactive with it,
Correct.
it actually is a really cool experience. And I thought I would never be the one to say that. I'm like, oh God, I've never speak. But it actually is not that bad. And
Absolutely.
usually people have gotten to the point, and what one good thing, people's attention spans have gotten shorter and shorter. So you really don't have to speak that long.
Right.
You really don't. So that helps too.
Right. You really only need an elevator pitch these days.
Yes. Yes, you do.
You perfect your elevator pitch and you're pretty much in with most people at this point because they
Yep.
don't want, they're like, get to the point,
Get to the point.
get to the point.
That's right.
But yes, we are going to do that. We are going to do that. The
Okay.
Toastmasters for sure. Put another thing on our plate.
I
Another thing on
know.
our plate. So another part of this, and KayCee, I don't know if you want to take this part of it, how to align the right method. So how to, if you're listening to us and you're processing each one of these different types of methods that we set out to give you guys today, and you're probably thinking which one would work best for me, or how do I identify if you're having a trouble identifying which one may work for you or not. We have a little bit of something here that may help you identify which goal could match with you. So
Okay. Let's see. If you want to focus on incremental progress, you might want to choose the stretch goal. That way you're focusing on one thing.
yes,
So you do the 5K, you might want to do the 10K. There you
Yep.
go.
Stretch yourself.
If you're looking to be inspired by big long-term visions, then you go for the BHAGs.
BHAG, that big hairy,
Yeah,
audacious.
I don't be hagging on that. Here we go. That's my thing. But if you value clear boundaries and balance, you might consider anti-goals. You
I
know,
like
I
that.
ain't working on the weekend.
Right.
No way, no how.
No
Period.
way, no how.
No. If learning and personal growth are your priorities, opt for the growth mindset goals.
Uh,
That's something that you could opt to do. If you want to align your purpose and passion, oh boy, you want to do the, what was that?
Ikigai?
Oh God, thank you. Can I tell you I love you?
Not today. Thank you.
I was like, oh, okay. If you want to,
Ikigai.
there you go. If you want to build resilience and mental toughness, try the discomfort zone challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I said discomfort zone.
You want to do improv, speaking engagements, public speaking, take a cold shower. Ain't doing it.
Only I remember we had to take cold showers when our water heater broke.
Lord, how did you survive that?
We got that fucker fixed.
ASAP, right? ASAP.
Yeah. It wasn't fun.
Okay.
Luckily it was in the summer, so it wasn't too bad. But you still need to throw a little heat in there. You
Right.
still do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I get pissed when it takes a minute for my water to get hot. I'm like, look, this is supposed to
or-
come out hot.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's why it was impatience, because
Yes.
we have 2 levels. So you might as well just turn the water on and go make your coffee. Then you come back and then the water is hot.
Right.
Then it'll burn the skin off your back. But it's
Right.
it's hell hot. And then of course, with all of the identifying your goal types, you also want to understand your character. So you don't want to set yourself up for failure, basically.
Right.
So if you thrive on structure, stretch goals or anti-goals may work best for you as well. If you're a visionary thinker, BHAGs are your sweet spot.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you enjoy exploring your passions, Ikigai is ideal.
Look at you,
See?
okay.
Now don't ask me 10 minutes from now, because I'm gonna just give you the.
You're gonna be like,
That's all you gonna get. It's like, why are we talking about this?
Right.
Jeez. Yeah. And if you're curious and open to learning, growth mindset goals are a natural fit.
Yep.
If you want a direct, actionable way to toughen up, go for discomfort zone challenges.
I like that. I like that. Absolutely. considering your expectations, are you seeking quick wins, long-term changes? Stretch goals offer short-term wins, while BHAGs and Ikigai are long-term commitments. So you got to consider what you're looking. What are you looking to get out of this? What's your expectation? Pretty much. And practical tips to start: you got to reflect on your current comfort zone. Obviously, you got to do things that you're comfortable with, especially if
For
you're not a
sure.
person that doesn't know. If you're not into getting out of comfort zones to start, definitely start with something you're comfortable with. Don't set yourself up for failure when you knowing you're not ready for it. What scares you but excites you? Set a clear goal aligned with one of these methods. Commit to process, knowing growth often feels uncomfortable. Absolutely. I
Yep.
cannot tell you how discomfortable it can feel. It's uncomfortable, you guys, but KayCee could probably speak to it too. It is very uncomfortable. You feel uneasy.
Hmm.
You don't know what you're doing a lot of times, and you're like, "Oh my god!" But once you complete something, it just it's I did that.
Right.
I did that.
No
You
matter
know
how messy it might have looked, but
exactly.
you did it.
You did it. One for the books. It's just getting out there and doing things that feel uncomfortable to you in the interim. In the interim. And then track your progress and adjust as needed. Obviously, always, I wouldn't say always, you can track your progress,
Right.
write things
Right.
down, and adjust as needed. And knowing that adjustments are okay. That's not a form of failure. That's a form of understanding your bound, understanding what you can and cannot do and adjust for it.
Yes.
We're at the end, but we wanted to bring you something a little bit different today. A little bit different.
Absolutely.
Have a little bit of fun with us. KayCee has she has I'm gonna let her explain it. I'm gonna let her explain it.
First of all, I want to give a shout out to, and these people have no idea who we are,
Yes.
but it's this game, this card game that I saw. Here we go on IG, and shout out to Hella Awkward.
Shout
And
out.
I saw them. I saw them. I saw it, and I saw the game, and I was like, "Ooh, I want this for the show. I want
Right.
this for the show." So it has 4 categories. And we're not going to get into the really meaty category, which was the sex category. I'm sure we'll do a show
Right.
that'll fit into some of it. I don't really think so, but still. And
It's wild, y'all.
those of you that are familiar with the card game, then at that point you definitely know what I'm talking about. But there's some questions on there that are like real talk, and that's the category. And some of them it fit into what we were talking about today, dealing with goals. And one of the questions that came up was, are you living the life you dreamed of? And
Oh,
I was like, wow, okay, I'm working towards that right now. So,
right.
am I living the life I dreamed of? No, short answer, but long term answer, I'm working towards it. I'm just right there, right
Right.
on the cusp, on the precipice
Right.
of living that life I dreamed of.
I would say yes and no. Am I living the life I dreamed of? Yes, in the form of I'm doing this. So I did have dreams of doing content creation. I did have dreams of creating things that I want to see and hear on social media. I did have dreams of that. So yes, I am living it partially, but I'm not completely there, right? There
Hmm.
are certain milestones that I would like to hit that I have not hit. There are certain expectations that I have for this show, tap in, my It's Just E. So I'm not there, but yes, I would
Notice the
say
plug she
yes.
did, everybody. It's the
I,
plug, right? There you go.
shameless plug. Shameless plug. Yes, I'm living it partially. I'm seeing some of my dreams come to fruition.
Good.
Yeah, those expectations of what I wanted. And these were uncomfortable things for me to do, like we were just talking about, but they're coming to fruition. So yes and no. So I'm there, but I'm not all the way there.
Yeah, I totally agree. If you were to tell me that I would be on here doing a podcast, I would say you're
Right.
crazy. It wasn't even, I can't even say it was a dream of mine because I didn't think about it, to be honest. And then I didn't know how it was going to fall into play. I just didn't know. There were too many variables. And the fact that here we go, you get up and you're talking and you're speaking.
Right.
And I was like, oh God, am I going to forget what I'm talking about? Oh my God. Oh my God. So already here we go, what you had talked about earlier, setting yourself up for failure because you're already trying to figure out, oh, okay, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And not that I preach church or anything, but
Right.
one of the things I remember pastor saying all the time, do the birds in the trees worry about where they're going to get their food tomorrow? Or what,
Correct.
you know where I'm going. I don't, obviously I botched it up, but you just got to keep going. And the
Yep.
same thing with, here we go with entrepreneurship. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? If I can't even tell you the people that I have met, the people that I know now that
Yep.
on day one, I hadn't a clue.
Yep.
But you are on that path and things just happen. With this, couldn't imagine that just doing this podcast and just being able to speak freely and be comfortable with it. That's another thing, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah. One of the other questions we were talking about, and I don't even have an answer to this for myself yet, but what is something you're too scared to go after? Is that even something that, to me, that doesn't make sense. I
Right.
could see for some people that it does,
Right.
but for me, I've gone after so many different things that I get scared about it after the fact that I tell somebody what I'm doing.
Yes.
And somebody's like, oh shit, I wouldn't be doing that. How you do that? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Now I'm scared.
Exactly.
And usually it's too late. You got to keep moving forward.
Absolutely. I resonate with what you just said because it's more so that last part, especially when you have something in your head and then you tell someone, just you talk to someone and tell someone, and they're like, why you want to do that? They shoot you in the
Yeah.
gut and then
Yeah.
it makes you self doubt what you're doing. Should I really be doing this? Am I
Yeah.
crazy for thinking about doing this? So, yeah, I would say that. I don't know if there's anything that's unattainable. I think for me, it's only unattainable because I haven't pursued it. I have come to find that out with myself and probably you too, KayCee, is when I put my mind to something, if I really want it, I go head on for it to achieve it.
Right. Right. You know,
Once I get through that uncomfortable phase of just that one step, like you were saying, taking
mm-hmm.
that one step, two step,
Yep.
that's the point. That's what I need to get over my self doubt or my fear. And once I do that, and don't let me understand something just a little bit, then I'm running with it. I'm running to attain it.
Well, sometimes, and even as I'm looking at the question, it's like I'm more afraid or scared not to.
Yes.
And my biggest scare or pet peeve or whatever would be, and again, when people say on your deathbed, I don't want to get too morbid about it, but I don't want the regrets. We
Right.
already have regrets for various things in our lives. And being too scared, I don't want that to be the regret of why I didn't do something.
Right.
Now there's some stuff I did and it's like, that was really fucked up. Or I really shouldn't have done that.
Right.
So out of embarrassment, I probably won't do it again.
Right.
But I don't want it to be I was too afraid to do it, because if
Right.
that's all it took to stop me when a challenge really comes your way, and trust me, there are going to be challenges that come your way. Hell, just trying to cross the street is a challenge. And I don't want to stay on one side of the street all the time because I'm afraid to cross of what might happen. And yeah, so I think a better question for me is I would be too scared to not do it, because I can beat myself up pretty badly and I can dwell on it. And God, because even as a kid, again, not being meekish, my parents thought that I would be a doormat growing up because I was just too timid. And I don't know whether maybe it had to do with my size. I don't even know I'm short. I'll put
Right.
it that way, because this is how I've been forever. But I just want to I try to be forceful. I try to move forward and just do what I need to do and not so much worry about the consequences later, but just go on and do it. You don't want to say, I wish I had but I didn't because I was scared.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Just
got
like,
more time I'm sorry. I have
oh,
more time behind me than I do in front of me.
man, say that
And
one more time.
I
Oh
have
my
more
gosh.
time behind me than I do in front of me. And I'm not saying I'm going to die tomorrow, but again, I want to travel. And we'll talk about it when I come back.
Right.
I'm taking a big trip. And it's a big step. When you go to a different country where English is not the first language, it's one of the major ones, but it's not the first.
Correct.
And here we go. You're out of your comfort zone. And
I-
I don't want to get to that point where I'm like, God, I wish I had done it.
Absolutely. I think you were spot on when you said what you said with regards to you don't want to have any regrets. And that's the one thing that I will say I like millennials and Gen Zs. Well, more so Gen Zs right now. They are
Mm-hmm.
more so the nomads, right? They are seeing things differently than what we were taught or even doing. We were taught
I
to
agree.
get a job. You go to school, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you buy the house, da 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 da. Da.
Right.
They are, even with work, they look at things totally differently. We were taught to you get a job and you stay there for 10, 20 years, you retire. They don't look at things like that. They look at it like, this is my life. I only have one life to live and I'm going to live it to the fullest. I don't need to own a home. I want to be able to work wherever I am. I want to be able to make money wherever I am. If I'm on a beach, if I'm in a coffee shop, if I'm in
Right.
a third world country, I still want to be able to have an income and do what I want to do. I don't
Right.
need to be tied down to one place. Or they look at money differently. They look at family differently. They look at a lot of things differently. And so I respect that of them. I respect that of the millennials and the Gen Z's that think that way, because they are creating memories early. They're doing things now that what we are doing later, and some people don't even get a chance to do it because they pass on,
Right.
because they
Right.
spent their whole
I
life
agree.
trying to create this life that the world told us this was ideal, but it
Correct.
really isn't. So I respect that. I respect that at all. I respect that a whole lot. And not to say that we can't do that. We can, as being Gen Xers, but we would have had that mindset back then. Just imagine how much we would have been able to accomplish.
Right. 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 I mean, the sky's the limit because
The
they
limit.
think they own the sky any fucking way.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I have some of those. My kids are 30 something.
Right.
So yeah.
I have them too. Come on now.
Yeah. Mom, it doesn't take all of that. And it's
Right.
like, well, you want to prepare. We'll just wing it. Oh no.
Like, no, that's not a word in my
It's
vocabulary.
it's
No.
like, oh God, Mom, you make me nervous. Okay.
Right.
So I have one last one.
Okay.
And I mean, this one here was your childhood idyllic or idyllic, depending on how you pronounce it? Would you change anything about it today?
Number one, it was not ideal at all. When you look at it, I was born to a single mom, teenage mom, growing up in the hood. So you do with that what you will. So absolutely not ideal. So definitely would have changed. That was not the ideal situation, but would I change anything? And I know when we first had this conversation, I said yes, because that was my instinct. Absolutely. Possibly would have been born in the lap of luxury, maybe
Right.
coming from have not to have, yes. But would I be who I am? Probably not. Is that a good or bad thing? We'll never know. But I would say that was my first initial. So if I'm going to go with my first initial on this, I said, absolutely, I want to change it. I want to be born with a silver spoon in my mouth or something, from
Yeah.
not having something to having something. So,
Yeah. It's for me, it's a different kind of scenario as far as we never wanted for anything, you know. Um, Dad was a police officer, mom worked for the county. So, I mean, there was always food on the table. I left home at 19,
mhm.
never came back. So, I was given a lot of life skills that at that point, I didn't believe why I was having to do what I had to do when I was younger. But now, as an adult, it prepared me for a lot that I've had to do since then. It wasn't anything traumatic or anything. I just feel that as a young kid, and this is one thing I think a lot of the kids today are lacking, and here I am, these kids today, I had a lot of responsibility at an early age, which is what I did not want to give tons to my kids for. Having to, for example, I would go to school, but drop my brother off at daycare. My parents worked, so we were latchkey. Whereas now
Yep.
I'm sure that they'd be in jail for it or whatever.
Right.
But I had to take him to daycare. So, and it was right up the street from my school. And so on my way home, I would pick him up and then we'd have our chores that we would have to do, or I would because he was younger. And then when my parents separated, then it was me, my brother, and my dad. And again, he was a police officer. He worked at different hours. And so not only did I have to take care of the household as far as making sure that we all ate, my dad did stuff too, but I tried to make, here's that older child, that pleaser. I'm
Yep.
trying to make it as easy on him. So when he comes home, he doesn't have to deal with all of that. And here you are at 7 years old, you're balanced, not seven, in the seventh grade,
Right.
over here having to balance a checkbook. So I'm balancing the household finances in the seventh grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was basic stuff, but I look at my granddaughter now who's going to be in middle school soon. And I'm thinking, there's no fucking way.
Right.
There is no fucking
Balance.
way.
What?
No, you don't even make your bed. No.
Right.
And I'm telling you about that daily. I just look at this situation. There wasn't an option. It wasn't an option. It was the three of us against the world. I'm looking at that, and then I fast forward to how things are today, how I've raised my kids, how I handle my business, all these different things that I just jump into, and I'm in go mode. And even in my years of working in corporate, a lot of the times it was the assistant to the directors. It was this,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew how to think 10 and 12 and 14 steps ahead. And again, so all they had to do was just show up to work.
Right.
So it's that kind of stuff. Was it the best thing back then as a seventh grader and doing all of that? I still got to play and do some stuff, but I was still grown in a sense.
Right.
So I think a little bit of childhood was lost, but again, it was out of necessity. So I don't damn my parents for that. But again, trust me, they got issues, I got issues. But even now, it like you said, I agree. It brought me to where I am today.
Absolutely. It definitely did. Now that you're explaining your childhood, I see. Okay, I understand some things now, you guys.
Oh God, what does that mean? Do tell.
With regards to how you think, just in general, with disrupt and discuss, and we've talked about this, what
Okay,
my
okay.
strengths are, what your strengths are.
Right,
And now I
right.
see where naturally it comes to you because you've been doing this for such a long time. You think of
Absolutely.
things at that level or in that perspective because this is what you've been doing for so long. Like you
Forever.
said, I had to be 10 steps ahead. So when you're a person that thinks 10 steps ahead, which is chess moves, you're going to look at things, you apply it to your whole life. So if you're applying that to your whole life, I see why when you come to me with different things about what we're doing here, I'm like, damn, I ain't even think of that yet. And now I know why. But that's the reason why what we do and how we're doing things and how we're balancing each other out, you guys. And
Yes,
so
for
I'm
sure.
talking to her, but you guys are just happen to be in this conversation. She balances me out, and which is a good thing because sometimes I get where I'm doing most of the heavy lifting. And I wouldn't say I don't mind it, but sometimes it's nice to have someone who can take some of the stuff off my plate. And KayCee does that. She did it, and I didn't even have to ask. It was like she thought 10 steps ahead, y'all. And I was like,
But again, as we always say, how we balance each other out.
you balance each other
The
out.
stuff that you do, I couldn't do it to save my fucking life. And I don't want to do it. So many times I wanted to chuck this laptop
Right.
out the window just on GP because I couldn't do something.
Right.
And I think, oh, by the way, there's something I got to tell you about after the show because I can't do it. Literally.
Okay.
No, I meant to tell you beforehand. I can't.
Right.
And it's something very simple, but it might take me all friggin' day and a gummy just to figure
Right.
out that I need to get some help. And I kid you not, that what E does is not my forte. I will tell you in a heartbeat, it is not. And some of the questions I've called her about, she's serious. This is
Right.
not her forte.
It's not her forte. And for me, it's just
give it
oh,
to
you just do this. Do that. Do
I
that.
said, can I just give it to you and you do it for me? Yeah.
Right,
Boom,
yep.
boom, boom. There
Give
you
it
go.
to me. Bye, 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 bye. There you go.
I mean, I've gone to T-Mobile, and I'm like, look, this is what I need. I don't know how to do it. The lady literally went boop, boop, boop. And I was like, I love you.
Right.
And she said, okay, there you go. Here's your phone. Goodbye.
Right.
But I mean, I say it in jest, but I'm serious. It's like, I'll go to T-Mobile to have them do something, and I go, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do it. Then I get in this hole, and I don't know where the fuck I'm at, and I can't get out. So I just turn the whole phone off and go back and get in the car and go tell them to fix it, and they do. But that is not my thing.
Yep, it's not, and she's not lying to you guys. Me, I'll go to YouTube University. I'll go to Reddit. I'll look everywhere before I actually go and call somebody or go.
I do it a couple of times.
I'm at my wit's end.
Yeah, as am I.
Right. But yeah, she's the forward thinker. She's the visionary, I would say, with regards to where this can go. Yes, she's the visionary. I make it happen. I create.
Literally, you make it happen. You do.
Yeah. I make it happen. She looks, well, because you're making it happen, this is where we can't be.
Right. There you go.
We got plans for 2026, y'all, already.
I was going to say you're a liar, but you're not. Okay.
I'm not lying.
Just one thing. My God.
Now, for right now.
Yeah. I'll have more.
She'll have more. But yeah, do you have any other cards, or that's the 3 cards you want to?
That was the 3 cards. I mean,
I think that was good because it lets them get to know us a little bit better.
I like this. I do too. That part of it, and you really get to see how we are.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you want to, but this is what we are.
This is what we are. Yes. And as you can tell, I would say this. I'm more, if you haven't already seen my style, and I'm working to give you guys more about me. I can be very surface level with my responses. And that's something that I'm working on. That's me dealing with getting out of my comfort zone.
Oh boy.
Of being more private. I'm such a private person. You believe it or not, even though when I come on here, I turn it on. I turn on for you guys. But I am very private with my private moments. But I have come to realize sometimes it's better to get in the weeds and paint the picture and tell the story, which could possibly help someone else with what you've gone through, how you've dealt with it, and things of that nature. So that's something that I'm working on. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this topic. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this conversation. And I hope you enjoyed this final portion of it, of us answering questions for you to get an understanding of who we are, what we came from in our lives, and how we think about things, which can be similar and sometimes different. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us know in the comments, of course. Again, we are on. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and I just wanted to give a shout out to. Is it going to show? Is it going to show?
Yes. And we're going to put it in the.
Okay,
good. In the description.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this and I'm doing ass backwards. So again, I want to thank Hella Awkward.
Shout out
for their game and I'll be pulling other stuff out so we can do this if everybody likes it. Again, like you said, it gives you a little insight into us, questions that I couldn't have thought of myself or I would have even thought to answer, let alone, yeah, I just wanted to give them a shout out because I really like the game.
Yes, I do too. It makes you think. Absolutely. So we're definitely going to put it in the description, the link to her IG page. So you can, if you want the cards yourself, you can, it's a good game to play or to have with friends or to get to know people. I say it would even be good in a networking situation as well. You know, getting
Well,
to know
some
other
of
people.
them,
Some of them, not all.
some of them.
Yeah. We ain't going to talk about the ones that do
No,
button go.
no, we're not.
But yes, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, we are on YouTube. So if you want to see us visually, we're on YouTube. But we're also on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on audiobooks that I just found out, Amazon Music, so iHeartRadio. Anywhere you want to find us on audio, we are there, you guys. We are there. And we're uploading every Wednesday morning. So be in expectation of when we drop new content, new episodes every Wednesday morning. Thank you guys. Hopefully,
Thank
like I
you.
said, you learned something. You learned something about
I
goal
did.
setting. Yes.
I'm a liar. That's what I learned. I don't know myself. Okay.
Right? Right. But thank you guys for coming along for the ride. Until the next one, you guys, we're out of here. Bye.